I'll get to the second part of the question after we all answer the first part of the question. And that first question is, with Lane Thomas in the fold, do the Guardians have a World Series roster right now? Yes or no?
Nah. We still need a little more, dog. We need some extra, bro. Listen, you started off. It's like, all right. My mom used to do this to me at Christmas time, right? We would get downstairs, and then she wouldn't put all the toys out in a succinct way. So what she would do is she would wait me out, bro, and I didn't like this, bro. And then I started understanding what she was doing. We would get random stuff like, I'm like, why is these batteries down here? You're like, why did you get these batteries? And then I'm like, okay, these batteries is for these little Minimoski handheld games. I don't want the handheld games. Where is the big Sega Genesis games? I don't see them. But then progressively, she put another cord down there. I'm like, what is this cord for? Should have took the game apart and put everything down there under a tree, and now it comes together as a transformer at the end. Like, okay, I got the controller, the cartridge, the plug. Oh, now you bring down the Sega Genesis. But them pieces and parts on their own don't mean nothing. If you give me a controller and a cord and AA batteries, I'm not accepted that. I don't like that. I can't play the game with that. You gave me a piece of part. I like the right-handed bat, especially what you could do against lefties, but that does nothing for this pitching rotation. If you're gonna have him with Carlos Carrasco, come on, dog. That is not it. Give me another one.
Tyvis turned the hat backwards. So, Tyvis, is this roster good enough right now with the addition of Lane Thomas and nothing else at the deadline, good enough to win a World Series?
See, this is the thing. This is the thing. It's hard to say that they can't win a World Series because they just went up against the Phillies.
And they sit in first place, too. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, where they at right now and who the teams that they beat. Like, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he was like, if you take them and put them in the playoffs, it's not like they huge underdogs against any other team in this, sometimes they might even be favored. You know, we're seeing where they're at. And I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, we talk about the pitching a lot. Like, we talk about how it's different in the playoffs, and y'all are 100% right. It is totally different in the playoffs. But if this guy, if they hitting and hitting home runs, it can overcome some of that pitching. Because the pitching sometimes is bad and sometimes it's good. It's just, the problem is I just don't know what you're going to get.
That's the problem.
And that's the problem. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, Tanner Bybee, Gavin, Ben Lively is probably, to me, is like the only guy that I'd be like, I kind of know what I'm going to get. Like, Tanner Bybee had, 3 strikeouts yesterday?
He had 2 strikeouts, but he pitched a good game.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, it's like, I don't know what I'm going to get. Cookie going to come in there. Some games, Cookie look great. Some games, Cookie looks terrible.
I don't trust him.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's like, I don't know. I would be comfortable if they did get a pitcher, which we all would. But I'm not gonna sit here and say they couldn't win a World Series without it.
It's like this, man. Are you more comfortable lost with no GPS and a cell phone with a full tank of gas or half? Give me that full tank, bro. At least I still might.
I hear what you're saying, but let's say if they didn't make a move, would you still say they got no shot of winning the World Series?
Yeah.
You would say that?
I don't listen. They have found ways to win this year, and this weekend series is the perfect example. If they go into Philly with Lively, Carrasco, and Joey Cantillo making his first career start, and somehow take 2 or 3 from the Phils, I can't explain it.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm done trying to explain it. But at some point,
you wouldn't do that in the playoffs.
Yeah,
no, you wouldn't do that, but that's not going to happen in the playoffs.
But that's the point. Yeah, that's the point, Tyvis.
I'm saying you're not going to start your pitchers in the playoffs.
G and I may be wrong, and I hope to goodness we are wrong, G, that somehow if they don't make a move that come playoff time, you get the same kind of pitching from Lively, and you get better pitching from Carrasco, and maybe it's Joey Cantillo or whoever else is that 4th starter steps up, and the bullpen, which has been out of this freaking world this year. It is the single best unit, lineup, staff, or bullpen of any team in baseball. Of all 96 potential or 90 potential units, the Guardians bullpen is the #1 unit in baseball this year. That's how good it's been.
Are you willing?
But we've never seen Gaddis do it in the postseason. We've never seen Cade Smith do it in the postseason. We've only seen Clase do it in the postseason. Even Barlow is an unknown in the postseason. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with this Guardians team currently constructed, even with Lane Thomas, going up against some of the better teams in the playoffs, which is why, as I started my point with Lane Thomas, it is a great first step, but I still have my fingers crossed, and I'm still praying they find a way to find some rotational help later today.
I'm not saying that's not the case, but I'm saying worst case scenario, if they decided to let this thing pass and they didn't make a move.
How pissed would you be if they lose in the first round of the playoffs?
Oh, it can happen. That can happen. That can happen.
It better not.
That's a possibility.
It is, but it better not happen.
But the Dodgers lost in the first round
because
last
if you lose in the first round, like then we gonna go right back to today. How you should have made the move.
Which is the whole point of this conversation, Tyvis.
So if you're looking at again, I don't understand why you wouldn't, because it's not like you've given up anybody. Like,
what if they ask for somebody out of your bullpen?
Oh,
like
no.
a Gaddis or a Kate Smith?
Yeah,
they're not being touched.
No, why would I do?
I'm just saying.
In that case,
if
it's a frontline starter, if it's a top
what I'm
two
saying, yeah.
rotational guy, and if I want to trade from a position of strength, I think about it. But I need him to be under contract.
I'm saying if it's Flaherty, would you give up one of your bullpen arms?
But Detroit wouldn't want a bullpen arm.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate. You said what's the best thing we got that's in MLB? It's our bullpen. So why wouldn't somebody want to attack that? I'm
willing to trade from a position of strength, depending on who they want. I don't know if I want to give up Gaddis, and you're not getting
Smith.
You're not getting Clase.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, you got the ammunition, right? You got it, and plus they got guys that are playing now. They got Martinez, they Schneeman, they got Rocchio, they got Arias,
Freeman,
Big Christmas, Freeman. They got 6-7 guys. They got Will Brennan. They got 10 dudes. Listen, they got 10 guys that
they can come get, huh?
That play multiple positions. Like what you want. Hey, I'm open for work. What you need.
And in the outfield, DeLauder's their top prospect.
Right, DeLauder's still there.
George Valera is still in the top 10.
And we keep talking about this Valera guy.
He's struggled to stay healthy. You got Ralphie Velasquez and Kyle Manzardo, your top two other hitting prospects. They're both first basemen. Like, they have the tools. And the draft, which they had they signed all 21 players they drafted, by the way. And part of the reason they were able to do that was the haircut Bazana took at 1-1 and ended up working out perfectly for the Guardians.
Right.
They got the player they wanted, and by Bazana taking a little less money at 1-1, they were able to sign the high school pitchers they took in the 3rd and 5th rounds and the 10th round. Terrific haul for the Guardians. They replenished. I mean, it's not catapulting them from wherever they were at, I don't know, I think it was 11th to like 1st. But you have depth now to be able to move some pieces. And to G's point about all these middle infielders, the middle infield of your future is Jimenez and Bazana.
Yes.
Like that's locked in stone. You paid Jimenez and you just drafted Bazana 1-1. Unless one of these guys
is A-Rod.
comes out and is playing so well that they physically have to play, they're all, in my mind, they're all expendable because you already know the two that are going to be there. It's Jimenez, it's Bazana, and then everyone else is open for business.
I don't disagree with y'all.
I'm not saying you do.
But at the end of the day, I'm playing worst case scenario here. I'm preparing in my mind.
So let me ask you this:
I'm prepared for them not to make a move.
Well, let's ask that question and put this in the poll. If the Guardians don't make another move today, if Lane Thomas is the only acquisition they make, would you be ecstatic they got Thomas? Would you be, I'm okay with that as a one move? G, you're going next. Or would you be upset that they didn't do enough? Tyvis, you start. Because I want. Or no, you know what, G? G, you start. Because Tyvis got the giggles. You start.
Because it's Project Stockpile has been has swept the nation. People now are lieutenants in general under the captain, and we people understand one thing: these moves have to be layered. They have to. There's no one move here. Hey, Elijah Moore move.
Hey.
I'm just gonna give it to you. I'm gonna wrap this back in. I'm gonna fold it back in. We're not going Browns yet. I'm just giving you an example. Elijah Moore a standalone move. You bring back Amari Cooper, but now you got Jerry Jeudy, and then now you drafted Thrash and Cedric Tillman. Now you got a mix of things that you could talk to, right? With this, this is a very nice step. This could put you from middle of the pack to now I'm talking about y'all being the number 1 team in Major League Baseball with home field advantage throughout. Now I can withstand Aaron Judge hitting a 3-run home run, and we can still come back. If our pitchers do give up a 3-run home run, I know that we got enough bats to get the runs back, and we got enough pitching to hold them at 3 runs. Like, to hold them and get some more innings out of you till we get to the bullpen. So you got to have both. They got the pieces. They're right there. I hope they're hammering these phones. I hope they're hammering the phones because they a couple of arms away from being like, okay, I catch y'all in postseason and I'm excited for it. That's where they at.
So is that A, B, or C?
So you say you'd be upset if they don't make any more moves?
I'd pass out. I'm gonna be mad because why would you do this move then?
What do you
Don't
mean?
go all the, listen. I take it from a guy who's been engaged 3 times. It don't count till you get married. I was like, why did I get engaged if I wasn't gonna get married? Don't be at the doorstep, Tyvis. You there? You at the altar steps. Go ahead and up there and say I do. Be all in on it, bro. Go ahead, dog.
You got your nerve.
I know.
you was in that position.
I know. Don't take my word for it, people.
Yeah,
do something better. Be better.
A, B, or C for you?
I'm at B. I mean, I like the Thomas move, and I understand why they did it. I understand that, like G just said, if we go into a game in the playoffs, I know we got some sticks. Like, the problem is that for so many years they was depending on just singles, and we'll hit some singles and maybe a double every here and there, but we wasn't hitting it out the park. And obviously the home run numbers is up this year. Shout out my boy Jose for coming with 2 yesterday too.
Okay, he looked like he was warming back up. He warming back up.
So I was a little worried about my 15 for a second, but he didn't. Did his thing. But now that you got another guy, because for so long we was talking about it's just 2 guys. It's just Jose and Josh. Like, all we got is Jose and Josh, and Quan is doing his thing, but nobody think he gonna do that, in the postseason. But now you add another guy who is a 20 home run a guy as well. Now you got 3 of them. Like, I feel like that's what you need in the playoffs. You got 3 guys that a home run could come and change the game from. Pitching wise, like I said, I get it. But if they didn't do it, I'm comfortable with what they have when they playing their best. If they at their best, I'm comfortable with the 3 with Bybee, Williams, and Ben Lively. So I'll be okay with it. It's not the end of the world to me. I think they can still win.
I would be upset, but I don't think it'd be pass out level upset, which I didn't give myself the option. There's no C+, B-. So on the ABC scale, I would be upset. But I wouldn't be like G. Bush passing out, flopping like a fish on the doorstep at 6:01 when the Guardians don't make another move. My big issue if the Guardians decide not to make a move, and I'm going to give patience and credit to Chris Antonelli and Mike Chernoff of the front office because they always seem, not always, more often than not, they seem to end up making the right decisions on when to buy and when to sell. However, as good as this team has been in developing arms over the last decade, they always seem to find guys, whether it's even a Ben Lively who comes here with the lowest of low expectations and turns into what could be their 3rd playoff starter, which is ridiculous to say out loud this late into the season. If they feel comfortable with that staff going into a 5 or a 7-game playoff series and knowing you're going to have to wring every ounce you can out of the bullpen because you're probably not getting through the lineup 2 full times with a Cookie Carrasco or a McKenzie or a Logan Allen if those 2 get called back up, or a Cantillo, or whoever that may be, I would just look at it as an opportunity cost missed because I still think there are pitchers available out there who won't cost the Scooble or the Flaherty amount of money or prospects or assets to acquire who can be a better and more reliable, consistent option than what they currently have. And when you look at what Eric Fedde got traded for yesterday, the Cardinals acquired him from Chicago. Similar prospect value rankings as what the Guardians gave up for Lane Thomas. Fedde's off the market, but there are other pitchers among the Fedde group that could be available and make a lot of sense for the Guardians without trading your Manzardos, your DeLauders, your Ralphie Velasquez's, your top prospects. I still think those guys are out there. I still think the Guardians front office is working the phones diligently up until 5:59 and 59 seconds this afternoon to acquire said pitcher G. So with all that in mind, I would be a little disappointed if this is their only move, but I wouldn't be passed out like Billy Bob the Bass, the McDonald's Filet-O-Fish Bass on the side, like you would be if they don't make a move.
I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all got an opportunity, and not that this is a trophy. You got an opportunity to pass the Cavs in about 24 hours. You got an opportunity. See, the Cavs have captured people's hearts because it's the first time that they were competitive outside the LeBron game, right? Outside of that, you got Donovan Mitchell. They signed him, cool. Y'all, the Guardians, y'all got an opportunity. Y'all want to, this is, by the way, I know y'all brothers and sisters in arms, and we like to support each other.
Nope. It's competition.
It's competition, bro.
To be number 2.
You are fighting for discretionary dollars. And I'm here to tell you, the dollars that people who already got Browns tickets ain't never giving them back. It is what it is. They can go 0-4. The last 10 years, they still going. Them tickets is passed down from generation to generation. But these other two, y'all the middle child and the youngest child competing for that attention. Now, I'm going to let you know something. I like what you did because I called you out. I said you had the 3 amigos. You didn't have the core 4, but you refused. I thought you the big 3.
The key 3.
The key 3. You know what I'm saying? I see what you was doing, but guess what you did? You gave up some of them prospects. You was willing to trade and wheel and deal. And by the way, free agency still going on. Cleveland Cavaliers. You can join you can just pick somebody too, right? Isn't it a novel thing?
They ain't making a move.
There's no moves.
You could drop that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the Cleveland Guardians.
I thought they was getting Finney Smith.
They ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. You're not doing nothing.
I mean, that'd be a sign and trade, not free. We'll talk Cavs in a little bit.
But shout out to the Guardians because now they got a way, all jokes aside, to break through with this, man. Do not let the Guardians get to a place. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. The Guardians win a World Series, I'm going to tell you what. There's going to be a lot of rekindling of that old Jacobs Field feeling.
Okay.